I get a sense that she's sort of at a boundary place between one stage of life and another. And she says she's into total immersion.
Yeah.
But I don't see that at all. She sees rugged cliffs like the breast of the mother, and the water burns. I mean, it
Like a
seems
transmutation of fire.
yeah, but it seems like the world, the next step is a very hostile one for her, that she's not willing to immerse herself in. And I also don't like the ending in knowledge. It seems to me it's a running away from the experience, that it doesn't fit.
And flown. It's interesting you think it's a running away from the experience. I always think of that as so immersive. What do others think about that?
Like, she has this knowledge of what the water is like, the cold, dark, deep, and absolutely clear. She knows, well, she speculates at least, what it tastes like. It first tastes bitter, then briny. And then from there, she wants to almost throw herself in, but she's afraid of it. So for me, part of the brilliance of the ending of that poem is that, because I do this, it's deflection, is what it is. She's bouncing, she's, rather than throwing herself into the water, she's skipping herself off the top, saying if you put your hand in it, it would hurt. The way that I read this as, for me, a devastating poem, where she wants to experience this water, but she's either so afraid or so unwilling to do it. She's all for the idea of that, but the actual practice scares her. That's why I love that line, cold, dark, deep, and absolutely clear. It repeats, but she's also not, it's a list. The deep is cold and dark. It's not cold, comma, dark, comma, deep. And when she goes back to that idea, it's this concentration in the poem is what brings me back to it over and over again.
That also makes me think that both of them, even though the scale is different, they both create a world by constructing certain kind of compass points. Like in this poem, in a sense, it's like the four elements, because you get the water and the fire. But then what you're making me think of is that idea of boundary, the boundary between what can be humanly known or touched and what can. And to be able to bring that into a poem really gives you this sense of something profound, because how it's so difficult to get that boundary into a poem. And they both do it. With Gilgamesh, obviously it's death, but in this poem it's just you can't even put your hand in it. She makes it so immediate that your hand will go numb if you try to touch it.